everyone. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to IFYL. If you're new, you'll see a QR code in the top right corner of your screen. Just go to that QR code by taking your phone, scanning it with your phone app, and it'll take you over to my link tree. If you're having any problems getting there, just type in Believe, Believe, me, M-E, Achieve, ACHIEVE.com. That'll lead you over to my link tree with lots of great information for you and those you care so much about, like John's Daily National Day video, JCM Academy TikTok, and so much other great stuff. But definitely check out John's Daily National Day video. That is really cool. And I know you're going to enjoy that. So every week we start on a Saturday and we end on a Friday, 7 days. We have a master topic. We get a little granular each evening, a little more specific. And if you are coming back, well, welcome back, my friends, colleagues, and wonderful associates. Thank you so much for popping in and supporting IFYL, Inspirations for Your Life. And hopefully some of the new people will become loyal, just like all of you have been. Really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. So let's get into it. What is the master topic today? How to Remember series, episode 3. All right. So if you remember, yesterday I promised you that I was going to talk about 2 types of memory. And this is memory that we see in a computer. So there's a type of memory, and we're going to go over to Merriam-Webster. First type of memory we have in a computer is going to be what we call volatile. That's volatile memory. And so what does volatile mean? So that's a great question, right? So volatile, V-O-L-A-T-I-L-E, is an adjective, and according is characterized by or subject to rapid or unexpected change, unable to hold the attention fixed because of an inherent lightness or fickleness of position, tending to erupt into violence, easily aroused, readily vaporized at relatively low temperatures, and difficult to capture or hold permanently, flying or having the power to fly. We're talking about point number 4, difficult to capture or hold permanently. So there are 2 types of memory in your computer. One is called volatile, and one is called non-volatile. All right. So your volatile memory is actually your RAM, random access memory. Okay. And that's used when we load programs and they execute. They pull information from the non-volatile memory, which is actually your hard disks, like your solid state drives, your mechanical drives, your M.2 chips, etc. We call that secondary storage because the primary comes from the chip, and it's read, and it is volatile. So secondary meaning it's second to the bus, right? Because primary is obviously a lot faster, but now with digital hard drives, things are getting pretty fast as well. So why am I bringing this up to you? So a computer is capable of handling volatile and non-volatile, right? Now, how do we understand this? Well, let's think of a file cabinet, right? A file cabinet has files in it, right? And so if you were to put things in the file cabinet and you file them, and let's just say, for example, you have something on your desk, right? And you write it out. Well, let's say it's like one of these little, one of these little boards you write on. And so if you don't actually run the little troll over it so that it transfers it onto paper, again, I'm giving you a manual example, it's gone, because as soon as that board gets cleared off, it's done, right? As soon as you move the lever, it's gone. And so the information is in a volatile state, right? So it would be non-volatile if I run that little troll over and then I pull the paper out. Now it's on a piece of paper that's not going anywhere. I put that in my file cabinet, and now I'm able to get that information again. So on your computer, you have volatile and non-volatile, right? So volatile right now, if you're watching me and this program is streaming IFYL onto your computer, it's actually pulling it down off of the internet, and it is loading it into your RAM, your random access memory, along with your operating system and things like that, and other things as well. And so if you decided, for example, to, let's say you opened up Word and you were to type something and you were to save it by going file and save or save as, it would then be stored to secondary memory. So let's say you just typed something in Word, and let's say you typed all these pages. I'm sure this never happened to anybody. And you're working on this midterm paper that you have to finish because it's due tomorrow. And you're already up. It's 2:00 in the morning, and there's a thunderstorm. And you don't really care what's going on. You just want to finish your paper. But you never bother to hit Control S or file and save or save as. And so guess what happens when the power goes out or when you get a little flicker? All the information of those many immense pages that were typed, all those characters in a word, are gone, just like that. So our brain has volatile and non-volatile. That's the way I want to compare it. When we don't link or put an experience to something, right? We said that we remember moments. We don't remember things. We remember moments. And if things happen in those moments, we'll remember the moments and the things that happened in that moment. However, if there is no moment, you may not remember things. So you create moments. We're going to talk more about how to do that later in the week. So the computer has volatile and non-volatile. So obviously we want to save the memory into secondary storage so that if the power goes out, we can obviously, boot the computer back up and we can easily retrieve that file. Now, when we think about that file and we think about our brain, it's not like a computer in the sense that we just hit save, because the computer already has a way to index its moments by hitting save, right? Very easily. Your brain does not know how to categorize things. Let me give you an example. Maybe you or a loved one recently was involved in a disaster. It could have been an accident. It could have been a fire. And again, I hope nothing like this happened. I don't wish it on anyone. But when something like that happens, maybe a traumatic experience to you or to a family member or a loved one, not only can you tell me the date and the time of what happened, when and where, but every single thing that happened in between, because it's like a marker was set in your head. And when I say, oh my gosh, you remember what happened when Jim fell down the stairs? Oh yeah, that day was terrible. You got rushed to the hospital, and you just keep remembering it because a moment started and it just like everything just kind of latched onto that. That's why in your brain, if things just keep going in and you don't have anything latched or connected to anything, guess what's going to happen? You're going to lose it, just like when the computer goes off, right? There's nothing that it's permanently attached to. I've said before that we have to feel it first and manifest a second. If we don't feel something, we don't have a moment, we don't have an attachment. Now, you might know people, whether they're other engineers, whether they're financial people, they don't have moments, or they have very few of them. So getting them to remember things is more than a chore. I remember one friend of mine, not anymore, but a friend of mine a while back, and I remember he was being very staccato about things in his life and just not really sharing much. So I took out one of my big, let's call it pads, pretty gigantic. And I was, doing some questions and going back and forth, and I drew a little diagram. And he goes, John, what the heck are you doing? I said, well, usually when I do this, people laugh. Yeah, well, it's pointless. So stop it. You're wasting your time. And so that night was interesting because then we had finished playing pool, and I remember it very vividly to this day. He was telling me about a challenge he was having at work because, like, John, you don't know what's going on. And I said, no, I don't. I'll call him Mark. I'm not going to call him his real name. I don't, Mark, to be honest. Yeah, it's just work is just I don't want to buy. I said, no, you can tell me. You sure? Yeah, you can tell me. If I don't hit my numbers, how close are your numbers now? Like 50% away. If I don't hit my numbers by the end of this week, I don't get a bonus, and it's going to make the holidays really hard. And so that resonated with him because he felt something. He knew what it was like. If I asked you, ladies and gentlemen, what was your first job? My first job that I remember outside the family was selling Christmas trees. And I remember going down to the lot. They always had hot chocolate and stuff like that, and helping somebody with their Christmas tree and standing it up and, showing it to them and showing them different ones. And then, we'd get paid something per hour, but then we'd also get paid tips. So you always want to do a great job in helping people find their best tree. After you found the tree and they liked the tree, then you wrapped it all up, tied it, and then you helped them put it on the top of their car. You tied it down, and they gave you a little extra something for all that, right? But I can tell you that was very memorable for me. Now, in the case of my friend here, Mark, that I'm making up his name, he had this feeling on his head that he already was thinking about, oh my gosh, like if I don't get this bonus, it's not going to be a great holiday. It's not going to be a good Christmas. Now, this is somebody that doesn't feel anything. It's kind of like the feelings of a nail or a doormat. But I have to tell you something. Everyone has feelings. It's just that they may not choose to let you into their world. And so I said to him after he shared this story, I said, Mark, so you do have feelings? He said, yeah, doesn't everybody? I was starting to wonder. I mean, you didn't show any all the times we've hung out. Yeah, well, I'm kind of private. And I said, well, can I ask you why, if I may? He said, yeah. Well, I'm asking, why? Oh, John, because people are stupid. They don't understand what you go through. They don't understand the challenges you go through. And at the end of the day, none of these people really care whether I get my raise or not. It doesn't matter to them. So I don't create these emotions or these feelings because they're wasted. And I don't want to remember something from somebody who's not going to respect me. I said, Mark, that's pretty amazing. I said, but isn't it important to first be your own friend first? Isn't it important to trust yourself first? I know you've probably been burned. He's like, oh, yeah, many times. So I was like, I'm not letting anybody in. I said, well, you've known me a couple years, and you've been extremely cold to me. He's like, it's not personal. I know, but why would somebody want to be your friend if you don't give somebody a chance? And I kind of think that I'm like a friend to you, maybe kind of close, an acquaintance. But yet, you don't seem to trust me. You don't seem to trust me. And that bothers me because I love to make connections with other people. I love to learn from other people. I love for them to learn from me. So I'll be honest, I was trying to get you to laugh. And we were talking, and he was just the night so sober. He's like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot, but you're really funny. I said, I'm funny? He's like, yeah, you're funny. You are funny. He's like, I don't mean you're an idiot. I just mean that you're so like out there. Is that a good thing? Yeah, it's a good thing. But you don't let a lot of people in, do you, Mark? No. Why? because it hurts. Because I usually trust them, and then we do something together, we have fun, I get hurt, and then I just remember that bad experience. And it just reminds me that I don't want to be around anybody else anymore. That's sad. I know. And so you're probably one of like 5 people I'll ever let into my life. Don't you want to meet more people? Yeah, but the cost of people just cutting me down and, you know, knocking me, it's just not worth it, John. It's not worth it. So you do have feelings, you do have emotions. Yeah, I do, but I just don't show them. So when I was asking you the question and I was doing that little stupid exercise, which you were trying very hard to just show no emotion, you almost seemed angry. Were you angry? No. He's like, to be honest with you, I was laughing inside, but I was just fighting so hard to stay angry because I didn't want to show you any emotion. So I actually made you laugh, didn't I? You did, but I didn't show it. Now, answer me this question, Mark. Didn't we have more fun tonight when we got to connect, when we got to laugh, when we got to experience things together? Wasn't that more fun than all the other times we hung out over the last couple of years? Yeah, it was. And how do you feel about it? I feel pretty good. You don't feel bad. You don't feel sad. You don't feel threatened. No. But you probably never let anyone else in, will you? Very few people, John. I get it. But I'm grateful for one thing tonight, Mark. You know what that is? I'm grateful that you gave me a chance and you allowed us to connect and express ourselves and share emotions. You're smiling, aren't you? You remember the very first time when I connected with you, and you would always knock me over, like, or always was always in a rush. I was just curious, Mark. Why did you do that in the beginning? You haven't done that in a year, I know. Well, I realized a year ago that it was kind of wrong what I was doing, and I was just being like a prick. But tell me, why did you do it? I'm just curious. Yeah, I guess I was doing it because I didn't want to have a conversation with you. I didn't want to have a moment. A moment. Yeah, I didn't want to have something that I remembered positively throughout the day. Because down the road, if you decided to stop being friends with me, that would all be wasted. But you know the funny thing is? He was so worried about me dropping him as a friend, and I never did. But he dropped me as a friend. And that's a little hard to swallow because I was a great friend to him. And I know that if I saw him today, I remember the time when he said he just didn't want to hang out anymore. I know that if I saw him today, whether it was in the coffee shop or grocery store or somewhere, I'd probably just say, "Hey, Mark. Hey." And then kind of wait. Say, hey, Mark, how you been? I've been okay. And as much as I would want to ask that person for an apology, I wouldn't. The whole thing that he was concerned about me doing to him, he did to me. And I think sometimes we're afraid of our hearts getting broken, trust getting broken. So I don't tell you to trust everybody. I don't tell you to friend everybody. But I know that we had an amazing friendship. And I know that probably a day doesn't go by in his mind. He probably says, geez, I really blew it with him. But he doesn't quite know how to open the door again. He doesn't know how to come back. If he came back and said, hey, John, look, I was a jerk, or hey, I'm sorry for what I put you through. No sweat. I think I would feel great about it, but there's a part of me that just would love to connect with him. And there's another part of me that says, John, he's stubborn. And he's never going to tell you because he's always trying to be something else to everything in his life. And I feel that a person like that is never going to stop doing that. It's almost like a person who lies. I don't want to say he lies, but a person that lies is a prevaricator for life. They lie once, and they got to lie a second time to cover the first lie. Got to lie the third time to cover the second lie. Got to lie the fourth time to cover the third, the third, the second, and the first, and the fifth time to cover the fourth, the third, the second, the first. And you better hope that you remember where the heck these lies are and when you said them and who you said them to who and in what context. Or your story is going to unravel. Oh, well, Mark said, or Gene said, I thought you said it was Tina. Oh, well, I mean, well, which is it? And now it's just going to unravel. And the reason I say this to you is that this entire friendship that we had over a couple of years, I can replay every single frame of it. Because every time him and I hung out, it was a moment. Now, in the beginning, the moments weren't really shared that you could see, but they were still moments. And I know if I asked him today, what was the first time we hang out? Where was the second time we hung out? Where did we go to the first restaurant to hang out? So I know that if I asked him that today, he would remember it. Like better than anything else in his life. Because I made an impact on him. And when you make an impact on someone, you make an impact on their brain and their body. And it creates this state with dopamine. And so what do you think? Hey, I'm hanging out with John again. Oh, yeah, it's going to be great. But he never said it's going to be great. I never learned until our friendship was almost over, which was about maybe 2 or 3 weeks before our friendship was done, that he really enjoyed hanging out with me. I mean, like he always said, well, you know, if I'm not busy, I'll do it. You can text me. And I'm like, okay, no sweat. If you want to, you want to. If you don't, you don't. But he did that because he didn't want me to know how much he wanted to hang around with me. So why am I bringing this up? This is a moment. Moments happen when there are tragedies. Moments happen when there's joy. Moments happen when there's excitement. Moments happen when there's fear. So when you have any of these type of dichotomies happening, It's like an instant marker gets set saying, okay, save this file right here, save it. Now, I want to ask you something. Have you ever had to remember something? And you said, John, I can't remember for nothing. I can't. So there's something called a mnemonic, right? There is something called a mnemonic. So a mnemonic is a device that helps us remember things, right? So one mnemonic I'd like to share with you is the mnemonic of, thank you for the thumbs up. Appreciate that. One mnemonic I want to share with you is the buyer's journey. And so the buyer's journey has three basic stages to it. ACD. Okay. You know what those stages are? If I asked you right now, what are the stages of the buyer's journey? So, and we're live here, so you know we get phone calls all the time. And we just have to go through them because we are a live show, ladies and gentlemen. So there are three, that call end in a minute. There are three stages in the buyer's journey. Okay. ACD. We can make a mnemonic for that. All, let's say, all, anything we want to do. Let's say something, we can make something funny. Apples, no, Siri, I'm not talking to you. You say things and everybody starts. So apples, what's funny about apples? You want to make something funny so you'll really remember. How about something like, all clowns duck under bridges? So picture all clowns duck under bridges. So the first stage is awareness. That's where we learn about the pain or problem that a prospect is having. The second stage is consideration. That's when we, as a prospective buyer, learn about the fact that there needs to be some type of solution. So I have to be aware of a solution, that solutions are out there. So first stage is, again, all clowns duck under bridges. So awareness stage, I know I've got some kind of pain or problem. The consideration stage, solution aware. I'm aware of the solution. And the last stage is the decision stage. That's when I actually decide to make a purchase. All clowns duck under bridges. Now, you're probably never going to forget that. All clowns duck under bridges. Awareness stage, consideration stage, right? And decision stage. That mnemonic probably will have you remembering that all the time. If I said to you, hey, what's the buyer's journey? Oh, yeah, thinking about all these clowns at a convention, okay? All of them, these clowns, and they all have to duck to get under the bridge to get out of the hotel. Can you picture that? You can even picture all the clowns. So all clowns ducking under bridges. Pretty cool, right? And so when we think about this, it's easy to remember. Therefore, a mnemonic. We're going to talk more about memory, but you see how I created a very interesting point and how you can easily latch on to all. We talk about clowns ducking under bridges. We can easily see that. And you'll remember that. All right, we're going to do more of this, but I think tonight was really important because you learned the fact that your brain can be volatile and non-volatile if you don't set a marker properly. And markers get set with feelings and emotion, whether that's being scared, whether that's being excited, whether that's being joyful, right? Whether that's being a multitude of things, right? But mostly it's basically if you're scared, if you're happy, if you're sad, if you're mad. Happy, sad, mad, right? So those states can actually affect different things in our lives. And so I hope you got value of this tonight. I know you did. So what I would love you to do, ladies and gentlemen, is definitely take this moment to go ahead and like, love, and support my channel. And then, ladies and gentlemen, please do go ahead and yes, I would love you guys to definitely comment below and let me know what it is you're thinking about and what you're thinking about what we learned tonight. Then tag your friends, colleagues, and your associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. Then be sure, yes, ladies and gentlemen, to go to any one of my YouTube channels or below this one, go to John space E space MORLEY space Serial Entrepreneur and look for that key phrase, help keep our content free. Click on the PayPal link and make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, to buy my team and I a savory slice of watermelon, a refreshing vanilla cone, or a nice icy cold drink. Either way, we'll invest those pennies and dollars into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, and even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping, motivational content ever. I thank you so much for joining me on my journey this week for how to remember. We've got so much more coming. Don't go anywhere because there's more coming up tomorrow. And these are techniques that you can put into your life immediately, like the mnemonic I sent you tonight. You can use these immediately and start becoming a great student because you have a great memory. Let's all believe it. Remember, we believe, we achieve, and we'll get our success. Have yourself a great, yes, ladies and gentlemen, a great rest of your night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.